Hello, welcome. Canada, a member of the group of 7 most industrialized nations of the world, used to route its development assistance through the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA. CIDA was absorbed by the Canadian Foreign Department in 2013 in the time of ex-Prime Minister Stephen Harper. As CIDA was made to recede or be dissolved, another institution by name Global Affairs Canada stepped forward to give vent to the previous functions performed by CIDA. We want to take a look at an aspect of the MOFA-G project in Ghana. MOFA-G is the acronym for Modernizing Agriculture in Ghana, which is being funded by Global Affairs Canada and supervised by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, MOFA. Women have never had it so good after many years of rigid female roles. The modern woman chooses from a wide range of options: career woman, creative homemaker, partner in her husband's business, and as operator of her own business. Worldwide, the drive has been to encourage women to roles and occupations best suited to their own inclinations. Women in agricultural-related activities whose business manifests in any of the roles mentioned so far are earmarked for assistance under the MOFA-G project run by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. In this episode of Farmers Weekly, the spotlight is on women farmer-based organizations, WFBOs. 32 women who operate in any of the various agricultural value chains have been selected for the pilot phase of the WFBOs to be assisted with MOFA-G funds. This is expected to be extended to cover more women in such vocations in due course. Signatories to the agreement kickstarting the project included the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, acting on behalf of the Government of Ghana, Global Affairs Canada, which provided the funds to run the project, and would-be beneficiaries. This is the Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Robert Francis Ankobia.
It is a very good intervention, and one that, a lot of thinking and consultations have taken place to ensure that women actually take their pride of place in agricultural development.
It is a terrific news for some of the women fishmongers who were present at the signing. And latching onto the event, they made suggestions as to what kind of help they expect to be funneled to persons in their ilk.
Midini Rijanama, mi fritashin, mi a fishmonger. Na yeda government nasi.
We thank government for thinking about us. We need coasters to refrigerate our fish. We need all kinds of help so that our work would be profitable.
Yedigu baby na ye basa enti ye pancho pa se on be hwete shimpo anu maye na de ehia ye no onye maye onye costo eni niama kitin eka ho no na sa se namuni ba ya anya de yedi be na mfaso bebra baso
sangona asasese onuchumo no wo chuo jilo enuchumo.
Yes, we need coasters. We have taken notice of all what government is doing, and we hope all the plans comes to fruition.
Farmers Weekly touched base to ascertain the nitty-gritties of fishmongers' business. Teshi Sangona is a beachfront of Ghana's capital, Accra. Unlike some of global cosmopolitans, dotted with beachfront skyscrapers, here at Teshi in Accra features shanty structures. Some are living abodes of residence, others are business joints. Teshi Sangona is one of the vibrant frontiers, and fishing-related activities are the predominant occupation of Ghana indigents. When fishermen return from sea, with their canoes loaded to the gunnels, contents are emptied into waiting hands of the women fishmongers. They prepare barbecues with fish or give fish the appropriate dressing before it ends up in any dish. In the process of their chores, they are exposed to fire and smoke, as well as scorched by the sun for lack of shade in the open air. It is next to common knowledge what medical science says of a situation as the women are facing on a daily basis. Smoke inhalation occurs when you are trapped in a contained area near a fire. This is said to cause lung problems in humans. Notwithstanding the challenges they face, a greater percentage of the fishmongers claim good business, thus removal of their drudgery conditions could unleash potentials.
The fire, and the scorching sun. We suffer in silence. Come and help us. Any who say na ebanu ya enti epese mu bua ye na mu ya bibi mma ye na yesu yenya ahuto kakra.
Wana lo no alwere che no ho ka wo ho ejela wa no wona fiofio pe wona ise.
Give us all our needs, shirts, pants and ladles. As you have come here, we thank you. But don't take too long in bringing remedies.
No shahu, she titaka national she lo washing of a bonny washer. Ja enna anna waran wo national washer. No one's one in your bawa and shona or joba. No ninya ba ne waka here menu, 1 many. Ninya ba, yaka chakla. Pala pa he ya one of Washkinan. No second and she was son jiwo. Shall well own Jimmy and Rokany, our punk. Tom 100 local no way. Wabadanishi.
The MAG pilot project on women farmer-based organizations would source supplies from Gratis, which is also a signatory to the agreement. Gratis is the abbrev for Ghana Regional Appropriate Technology Industrial Service. It is to develop the tools required by the women fishmongers and others found in any agricultural post-production activity. Mr. Kofi Ntimeje is the CEO of Gratis.
Post-harvest loss is one of the great things that our farmers are suffering. Some of them go for loans and others, and sometimes when there's a bumper harvest, they don't really know what to do with it, and then sometimes even importing equipment to process the food from outside turns out to be too expensive. And so this is the wisdom behind a government organization like Gratis coming to the rescue of our farmer groups to get agro-processing equipment at reasonable prices, and in very many cases supported by government programs like we have with this CEDA AGRIC Ministry program, so that the post-harvest losses and all those problems will come to an end. Because sincerely, what we are doing now, once government has decided to really boost agri production through the planting for food and all those programs, as initiated by the Minister of AGRIC, there's need for government to also look up to things like processing of what we have produced. Government has a policy that from about 2022 or so we are not going to import rice anymore. But if you are not going to import rice, then what we have to do is to start producing equipment to process our own rice for consumption.
Officials underscore involvement of Gratis in this venture as one that taps into indigenous brain power to either create or invent. Indigenization saves nations the implications on importations. In the upshot of this episode, we will discover the greater imperatives that will determine additional measures. Gratis was established in 1987 and mandated to promote small-scale industrialization in Ghana. It thus conducts training, manufactures, and supply machine tools to smaller units of the industrial chain. If MAG assistance for women farmer-based organizations will be successful, a lot will depend on the offers occupied by this woman. Ruby Nels Palm is the MAG focal person at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. She will be expected to ensure deployment of resources to meet timelines.
And generally, we all know that women, when they are helped in terms of economic terms, it trickles down to the home and then spreads out. And so that is the idea behind it, that we support the women in their economic activities. As you may be aware, with the COVID-19, it has economic implications for the homes, and therefore it's a way of supporting the women that they are already in their economic activity, so that where there is a gap, there is a support given to enhance their production and then marketability of their products.
She then launches into the broader theme of MAG, beyond the aspects that dominated the opening pages of those pieces.
The MAG program is a Canadian support initiative. It's a budgetary support to the agricultural sector, and it's 5 years. It's about 135 million Canadian dollars. We are currently in the 4th year, and so it supports extension heavily. And then this extension is one of the pillars of the government's flagship programs that we are running. That is the PFG, the RFG, and then the PED. And the minister is very appreciative of it, because this will go in a long way to support the programs, get the farmers to know modernized way of doing their production for increased productivity and then increased incomes.
Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR Ghana, Professor Victor Kwame Ajimai, said the MAG project sponsored by Canada is one of the best things to happen to agriculture in Ghana.
The Modernizing AGRIC in Ghana project, which is called MAG, is first of all unique in the way in which its concept has been developed. What the Canadians, in discussing with the Ministry of Finance, said was that what they want to do is to support the government of Ghana to actually develop its own programs. So MAG did not come with a program that had been more or less drawn up by the Canadians to support Ghana. So what they wanted was that it was going to be what they call a budgetary support. And in budgetary support, you actually outline what you are going to do, which Ghana government can support, and what you would like to do extra, for which funds are not available. And then the money goes through your budgetary support from the Ministry of Finance, through the ministry, in our case, the Ag Sector Ministry, Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, through CSIR. And then you use the GIFME system to actually account for the money.
The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efri-Akoto, supports the AGRIC researchers' viewpoint. Different semantics, same meaning.
Look, MAG is really to do with agricultural extension, and it's very critical. Let me give you some statistics. When I came into office, I asked an audit to be done of agriculture extension officers. There were less than 1,600, and yet the establishment I should have 4,400. And this 4,400 had been in existence for 30 years, so it means, of course, it should be far higher. But we had less than 1,600. I had to convince my colleagues in cabinet to allow me to employ 3,000. They allowed me 2,700. So last year, graduates, agricultural graduates and diplomas who were sitting at home doing nothing have all been taken on board, 2,700 of them. And they've been trained and they are now working around the country. What MAG has done is to give us the logistics. So they gave us 3,000 motorbicycles, which we distributed to the extension officers, and then 300 pickups, which we've given to the district directors of agriculture. So now our extension service is strengthened, and that's a contribution of the people of Canada to the effort that we are making in this country.
If the import of MAG is to convey researched knowledge to the former, then it is important to know some of the developments created with academic knowledge. Here is Professor James Asigbuo of the CSIR Crop Research Institute. He is a legumes breeder.
Common bean is a very important grain legume, but it is new in Ghana in terms of production. But in Ghana, we have been eating common bean in the form of baked beans in our hotels, restaurants, and in small kiosks where people sell food. But since 2011, we have evaluated a lot of common bean varieties from East Africa. And in 2016, we released 4 common bean varieties. 2 of them are very good for canning. You can can them into baked beans. And one of the varieties is also very good for wache and other products. And we have another variety which has very high iron and zinc content. And zinc and iron are very important minerals that are needed in the human body. Because of anemia, we need iron in our system. So this is going to help our people, especially children, pregnant women, HIV patients, and a lot of people who need iron.
Dr. Manfred Ewell of the same institute explains the advantages orange-fledged maize have over the other varieties.
It's a very serious problem. In fact, worldwide we have about close to 500,000 children suffering from vitamin A, those under 5 years. And in Ghana, ours is 1 in, I think, 17, about 17 deaths. Yeah, in children because of lack of vitamin A.
Due to low numbers of AGRIC extension officers, research work as just outlined by luminaries of the Crop Research Institute in Kumasi were not trickling down. This makes the AGRIC minister's intervention to employ more extension officers pivotal in the new drift of agriculture. The presentation by the scientists also revealed matters of interest in agricultural value chain, which women in agricultural post-production can take up as new business. As has already been established, Canada's MAG funds are being used to firm up the conveyor belt between research and farmers in terms of procurements to facilitate engagements. The Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Robert Francis Ankobia, acknowledges the important role of donor funds, but also makes it clear that Ghana could have felt the squeeze on economies in the coronavirus pandemic if government of Ghana had not taken its own measures to secure agriculture.
Also, I need to make the point that before MAG, or long before MAG, governments over the years have funded agriculture, albeit with some support also from, development partners, donor agencies and all that. But we have been able to use GOG to support agriculture. When we get this kind of external support, what it does is that it frees resources, for government to channel to other areas. That's what it does. It frees resources. So, should MAG come to an end, definitely government will be on hand to be able to come in to continue from where MAG has left off.
For instance, the government uses a loan facility to procure AGRIC machinery that absorbs 40% of the cost to be borne by farmers. Improved hybrid seeds and fertilizer supplied to farmers are 50% subsidized by the government of Ghana. Proper utilization of MAG funds and the government's own initiatives have led to a surge in agricultural production in Ghana.
On average, this government spends about $100 million on the 50% subsidy. And that is GOG money, nothing to do with Bretton Woods or anybody. It is our own money, and we know that it's of great benefit socially, economically, and financially to the people of this country. Because you're dealing with the poorest group of farmers, the poorest group of workers in this country happen to be farmers. So if you go down to their level of making it affordable for them to be able to apply modern seed and fertilizer and mechanization, then you are helping the poorest, and also you're reaping a huge benefit of increased production. I mean, as I keep saying, as if when we came into office in 2017, we knew that 3 years down the line, there would be something called COVID. Without planting for food and jobs, this country would have been in serious danger of hunger. But now we have surplus, even at this time as we speak, when there are supposed to be no stocks, because this is when farmers start planting. You still have loads of foods in the producing areas.
The dividends on interventions in the AGRIC sector are praised by the Director General of CSIR. In an interview unrelated to subject matter of the AGRIC ministers, Professor Victor Ajimai said preparation long before arrival of COVID-19 crisis has built a resilience.
Having put in this scenario, I am happy to note that the Ministry of AGRIC has put in, and the government of Ghana has put in place some measures. The president, in addressing the lockdown, if you remember, indicated that $40 million have been given to the buffer stock company. And that is to make sure that we store enough cereals to offset the 30% or the 400,000 reduction. So internationally, most of the studies have projected that even though our productions are likely to decrease, it is not likely to affect consumption. I hope you understand, because we have enough enough buffer stock systems to be able to, that is if we carry through our recommended policy decisions.
Projecting the fallouts in Ghana in these times of COVID, the International Food Research Institute, IFRI, noted that cocoa production could dip by 30%. Production of cereals could experience a shortfall of 400,000 tons, while the average meat protein intake in Ghana of about 1 to 4 kilos may not see any rise. For now, these remain in the files as the government of Ghana presses the accelerator on production. An initiative as Planting for Food and Jobs had also boomed food crop production, evidenced in presence at farm gates throughout the country. Facing a food glut, attention is switching to food preservation and processing to stem post-harvest losses. And this is where women in the agricultural value chain comes strongly into the picture.
Women in agriculture within the groups, as I said, we started with 11 farmers groups in 2017. 2018, we doubled it to 22. Last year, it went to 53. This year, we have expanded it to 104. So we are growing them, and each group can be as small as 20 and as high as 800 farmers, depending upon the situation that they find themselves. And through these groups,
the Ministry of Food and Agriculture believes that such an investment sums up the total package required as counterweight to the pressures on women found in the value chain. The ultimate purpose is to maximize performance, helping them to break out of the life of have-nots to their places among the haves. The 21st century woman is being positioned to escape the stereotypic environment. Worldwide, advocacy wants women to add to their traditional roles, that of being confined to their homes, husbands, and hearth, and to be economically employed to have a say in at least decisions taken in their homes. This may sound philosophical, but it is becoming a reality with what has been triggered under the MAG and MOFA initiative with women farmer-based organizations in Ghana. This is where we end Farmers Weekly. Stay well and keep your dial as well here.